Hello, everyone. Neil for T-Shares here. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's been a very busy Christmas time for us at True DeFi, the launch of Tru2X. We had when we were very, very humbled and very appreciative of the successful launch that we had with a outstanding day one deposit volume. I'm going to bring up my partner in arms here, Executioner. How's it going, man?
I was muted. I'm good. I'm particularly good. Yeah, really grateful with the participation level that we had that we absolutely could not have ever expected. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm doing really well.
Yeah, our original models we were playing with an 8 billion per day cap originally when we were doing our early models about a year ago. Of course, Pulse was a lot higher a year ago too in dollar value, so we never thought we'd ever see these kind of numbers. But as the market moved and the price went down, then we did the math and said, well, maybe raise the cap to a more reasonable level. We thought 25 billion. We might get close, be lucky, maybe who knows in day one, but I would have never expected to blow past it by 8 billion. That was a intense, pretty intense day one. I mean, it shocked us. I mean, I know launching right before a holiday, and even though we were delayed by a couple of days on launch, it was an intense time to say the least for all of us. If you were watching us in chat and listen to our posts and stuff, but we were pretty much engaged 24/7 the entire time. So and still are.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I got two more invites out to Karos from EMIT and Chris from Gelato. They'll come back up on when they get ready. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at the daily stats and what's been going on. And let's see here. Let me share a screen here. Let me work and share. Let's see here. Just 1 second. Let me just pull it over, share correctly. All right, here we go. This is day 6 of Tru2X. We have 12 hours, 17 minutes, and 9 seconds before the day turns over. Just to remind everybody, Tru2X is a auction house model that works on a 24-hour cycle. So this timer here is counting down to when the day changes over, which ends up being around 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's just when we launch a contract. Nothing planned by that. Just when we got done and ready, that's when it happened because we were tired of waiting. So here we look at some numbers here on the dashboard. This is some information about Tru2X. We have 4,114 miners right now going on in the system. That's a lot of miners. That's each individual card earning, each of those miners earning dividends as we speak. And there's 1,588 cards out there. I guess those are sub cards that are running through the system. Some of those are internal miner cards and stuff from our stuff that we're running in the background. And this number is not quite up to date. It's really 120 billion pulse has now been deposited in a contract. I don't think this is picking up the excess of day one. I think that's about what the difference is. So over 120 billion pulse has been deposited in the last 5.5 days in Tru2X. That's pretty impressive. I don't know what that is in dollar terms, but that's a pretty good chunk.
Yeah,
right here.
Almost $1.5 million or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And so then here, this 256.1. There's your miners. Today's miners locked in their shares so far, and we have 19.52 billion from yesterday's auction is being distributed to the miner class. We still have 1 million shares out available each day. Those have yet to start coming down. They will shortly once we add our SRE deposits. And so far, today we have 15.62 billion available for distribution, and that's going to go up before this day ticks over because we have not our one XR minor class has not started its deployment. So, all right, I'm watching the bottom. And so here we have 5.8 million shares total. This is day 6. There's 5.88 million shares that are in the system that are distributed amongst all the miners in their share rate. That's what the number means. So these are the numbers from Tru2X in the dashboard that you see when you enter in and into the auction lobby. I'll come on down. This is just ignore about the numbers here. What's in here? Just ignore the numbers, people. But this is a real card. It's what's going on in the system. It's the only one I got a everyday deposit on, so I could show everybody. But to give you a walkthrough, I've yet to do a walkthrough live of the current system, but we have the lobby day here. And we have if I have not made a deposit yet, there'd be a button here that said enter auction lobby. I would click it, and I would add my pulse to it, and this little pink card would pop up, and this ID number would generate for a unique ID to that wallet. And so this pink card represents how much pulse has been deposited into this system by myself as an organic deposit. But if I would make a compound or something, it would also show up here as well from the compound system. And this particular wallet is my referral wallet. So if you know what that means, if you've been keeping up with it, this receives all my referrals from various things. So as you can see on this column here, we see the day deposits. So day 1 of the system, we had 32 billion 0.78 billion polls that entered the system that day. And day 2 was 18. Day 3 was 21. Day 4 was 18.5. Day 5, which was yesterday, was 19.5. And so far today, we have 9 billion. And again, this does not include our system miners or anybody else coming in organically as they get up. Because the other side of the world is just now getting up. It's morning time for them, so they'll come in and make their deposits today. And this also includes any compounds from yesterday that are already in the system.
Yeah, so that's all organic.
This is all organic. Everybody, this is just organic deposits and organic compounds from people's settings from yesterday's dividend distributions. So
the system comes in and that number changes significantly.
Yes. Significantly. Usually at least 10 more billion will come in through the system.
Yeah.
That's been roughly, that's what the math is. Plus we have, again, another 12 hours of time for the rest of the world to make their deposits. Christmas was yesterday for us, and it was almost 2 days ago for the people coming their morning, right? So it's now the 27th for them. And they're getting back home from their holiday travels and stuff. They may go back to the computer to deploy their miners and stuff like that. So this is where we are, and this is what's the what the information is. There's still 1 million shares available each day, only because the SRE has not started to make deposits just yet. So it is active, and we'll talk about it in a minute. And so you see all these things that all this other data. It's of auction winners, auctions deployed, and stuff. And what is system and what is organic and stuff like that. And then you see the share rate based upon the deposits that were made in this particular wallet, how it varies over time based upon the size, because obviously this is receiving a lot of referrals, so therefore there's a lot of pulse going into this particular wallet, and it is being auto compounded as well. So I'll take us over here in this particular wallet. We'll go to the manage miner page. So when you click this, we have a nice managed miner page. The same data is at the top, but we have a list of our communities we'll talk about here. I'm going to change this display so we can see them all a little easier. All right, so when we did our integration amplifier program, there's a different protocols decided to join forces with us. And the integration amplifier allows these protocols to share in revenue from the use of these unique ID links like Tetris 214, eShares 124, EMITs 130, et cetera, et cetera. So there's all these unique ID links. And if somebody wants to come in and support a community, they can. And so what they do is they come down to the bottom here under set community, and this window would pop up. They can pick one of these communities they want to participate in, select it, and then when they set it, you confirm your wallet, and what that would do, it would lock in the community to this wallet. So when you make deposits and compounds, that community would get the bonus for those deposits and compounds. And that bonus amount is 10%. And the user would then in turn receive 5%. So then in this case, if I pick Tetra and use that number for my deposits, Tetra would get 10% of all my deposits. Those 10% is the form of shares. And those shares would enter into the system here as a bonus. And then that 10% would then be sent to a wallet that is assigned to Tetra. And those shares would convert to miners. And those miners would go through the system to a 2X. And then 25% or 0.5X of that miner's path to a 2X would be utilized to purchase Tetra tokens from the market, put them in a claim contract, and allow you to click this and claim your Tetra tokens, regardless if you've ever interact with Tru2X or not.
The other 1.5x of it is compounded daily, all the way up to there throughout the days, making more and more miner cards every day, which will also do the same thing, which they grow. That means technically they're growing by 0.5x as they get bigger and bigger and bigger, making a bigger impact of that last 0.5% when we purchase those tokens. So it's quite the impact for sure.
Yep. All right, good. Oh, Chris is here. Okay. I'm going to bring Chris up, everybody, from Gelato, Canadian Grateful here. There he is.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear
you well, loud and clear.
Oh, perfect. All right. Sorry I'm late.
No problem. Glad you're here. We're actually just now talking about the integration amplifier, so it worked out just right. Perfect timing.
Okay, I'll let you continue. Thanks for having me here.
Sure. So I'll go up here, and there's Gelato here, 568. There's Gelato's card, and users can click and use the 568 link to support Gelato, and we will end up purchasing Gelato tokens from the market and putting in the claim contract. Right now, the claim is not available. It'll be available in about 6 weeks or so once we get the contract finished up and operational. But until then, we'll buy these tokens and put them in the wallet for Gelato, and they'll sit there until the claim contract is ready. So throughout the weeks, there'll be buys of Gelato. You'll see the Tru2X buys, and we'll publish the wallet so they'll see it and know what's going on. Hold on one second. Sorry, I got interrupted. So Chris, since you are you are an IA partner, and actually Gelato's in the lead in the IA race for bonuses attributed to their thing. What has been your experience and your thoughts on the system as a user and a partner?
Yeah. Well, so for me, I'm very conservative, and I, like many of you guys have been around for a while and in different ecosystems, and you've seen them come and go, and you've seen them succeed, and you've seen them die a violent death as well too. So for me, with anything, I take emotion out of it, and I just start with like a skeptical view. That's how I approach life. It's like, and I'm going to prove it, to be beneficial to me. And until then, I've just been burned so many times. And so when you hear something like, hey, you can double your pulse, you think, oh, wow, that's obviously, who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want, in this market right now, what we've been through on Pulse Chain, who would not want to take 1 billion pulse and make that to, in a pretty expeditious manner? If you're in early, you might be able to do that within 3 weeks. I mean, that's unreal. You might. I mean, that's, so anyway, all of that is super appealing, definitely. And then the devil's always in the details. It's like, okay, so how does it do this? And how is this not just a Ponzi like everything else? I mean, let's be honest. I want to use that word lightly because life is a Ponzi. We require young kids like mine to enter the system to pay for us when we get old. That's what Social Security is. Everything is, right? But is it sustainable? And does it have good intentions? Meaning, like, is it harming anyone? What I love about all of this is there isn't a token. There's no token. So there isn't anybody with supply control that's going to dump it on your head. You don't have to worry about the drama of snipers and all that kind of stuff. The aim of this is to support ecosystems. And so you can support yourself as an ecosystem. I want to double my pulse, okay, great. But as a community as well. So there's plenty of really, really great communities here. There's plenty that are sitting on the fence that are probably waiting for a cycle to go through before they want to enter. But I decided to jump in after copious amounts of questions and poke in the bear a little bit, because what this does is this is a way to create engagement for your community. So say my community is Hero Token and I am Vets, right? Well, I can go ahead and have a referral ID here, and his community, if they go into the system and say they have 100 million pulse and they use Vets referral ID, 10% as a bonus, not 10% off the principal, 10% goes to that Hero Token, and it starts to create miners, which eventually perpetually will buy that token and benefit that ecosystem. Same thing with Gelato. So what this is doing is it's not harming anything. It's not taking anything away. It's just adding, and you're creating the stickiness of like, why the hell would I not do this? I mean, so for me personally, it can benefit my own wallet of Pulse, which I can use to benefit, Gelato in my own way or whatever, but also by using the bonus that you get, which is a 10% bonus for the referral ID that you put in there. But then also you get 5% bonus as well too, that gets kicked back to you just for being cool and saying, hey, I'm going to put 100 million pulse in. I'm going to get 5 million back as a bonus. So now I have 105 million working for me. And I put the 10% bonus towards the Hero Token or, any other token that's up here, right? So, and it's just a huge benefit, and you have to let that sit. You have to hear it about 5 or 10 times. What I tell my community as well, because I always want to be upfront. I want to be completely honest, is if you are, what have you done for me lately? Maybe you don't want to benefit another token. You want to benefit yourself. You can do that. You can go ahead and refer yourself to get that 10% bonus. Okay, so I put 100 million pulse in. Now I'm referring myself and I'm getting that 10% bonus, which would be 10 million pulse. That's going to start creating miners and working for me. And then I get the other 5% too. So really, it's an incredible system. And I might be tying people's, brains in the knot, or their brain in a knot here. I've done it to myself many times, but it should not be faded. But you should scrutinize everything and do your own research. Some people want to sit back and wait for a cycle, wait for this to play through. Let's see people get their 2x and then see if the system can handle it. What I'll say to that is sometimes people will say that a system like this is great in the beginning because it's top heavy. People are excited. The team has put some money into it. People like me have put money into it. And so it's working and it's impressive. It is impressive. It's paid back 86% in the first 5 days, I think. Somewhere around there. Don't quote me, but somewhere around there. So if you put in 100 million pulse, you've been kicked back into the system, into your system, 86 million pulse of that. Okay. That is impressive. But the challenge is what happens when the money dries up, right? Well, the way that they've got this community engagement, the way that they've got the ability to compound these miners. And then the big kicker is that they've created a layer of non-human intervention of their own system miners. So their own system miners, you look at that as like this core engine at the bottom. The only job of that sucker is to sit there and create more perpetual buys for this system. It's just going to mine over and over and over. And it doesn't, as far as I know, I'm not on the team. I don't know all the intricacies, but these system miners, their job is to recompound over and over and over and fuel the system so that eventually that compound, those compounding system miners will get really, really big, like really large. And so, it's really interesting. I think I love the fact that it doesn't compete with tokens. It actually brings founders, I think, together and helps promote their communities. Like with Gelato, for example, I can choose to have the tokens burnt as a founder, or I can choose to put them in a claim wallet. And that claim wallet will just sit there for anybody that holds the token. They don't have to be associated with Tru2X at all. They can come in and they can just claim free gelato that's been accrued through this system based on how much gelato they hold. So the more gelato that they hold, the more percentage, a higher percentage of the claim that they can take. So sorry, you asked for a little and I just gave you a lot, but that's sort of what I'm feeling right now.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, one caveat: the rate, the 5 or 10% are not straight percentages of deposits, or they're actually share rates. So you get 5 and 10% of the shares associated with a deposit, which will vary as time goes on because the share rate ratio changes every day. But it's close to that. It's just not an exact 5% per pulse ratio. Yeah. But it's close though. Those things are beneficial for everybody as they when they understand how share rates work.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. I guess it's worth mentioning that it's really this bonus. Happy Land is in the first 45 days, and so then the structure changes a little bit. I think there's still a partnership potential bonus of 5% after that, but really, you get paid to get in early. This is the minimum viable product. And they're working on I think some of the UI. It's really complex. It takes a lot of time. I mean, I've sat in the Telegram asking a ton of questions, but that's the price of early innovation and getting here and helping work through this. So yeah.
Yep. And we've improved the UI and something cleaned it up a little bit with some of the user experience in real time as people saw the issues and stuff. I would say that Execution and I become IT consultants and troubleshooters for people's own personal PCs and browser issues and stuff like that. It's been a full-time job. And so Execution, I know, has helped several people just on the side really work through its internal browser, cache and computer issues. That's been it's been plaguing people because, computers are funny and everybody's got a different system, different operating systems, whether it's Mac, or PC, or whether they're using, Brave or Chrome or Firefox or OKX wallets versus MetaMask versus whatever else, and it's been a challenge.
What's been pretty amazing? Well, the numbers are incredible. Like if you take everything out of this and you just look at 100 and whatever it is, 115 billion pulse that have been deposited into the system in the first week. That is impressive. That is truly impressive, especially when there's a huge community of people that are sitting on the sidelines going, I don't trust it. I don't, I don't know it. I'm going to wait for, people to go through this first. They're just waiting, right? There'll be waves of economic energy that come into this. There's the people that are, there for the Black Friday deal at the very beginning. And then there's the waves that come after. And then given the fact that there is, it's a little bit complex deciding, do I want to auto compound? Do I want to compound? Do I not want to compound? How many miners do I want to have? Maybe I want to have one miner that I just want to get to 2x as quick as possible. And then I want another miner that I'm just going to have automatically compound and build up this massive amount. So there's lots there, but given all of that complexity and the newness and the fact that this hasn't been done on Pulse Chain before, it's very impressive that you've attracted those kinds of numbers in this first week. I mean, it's commendable.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And it's people like you and others. I mean, we had less than 1,000 people on our Telegram, which is kind of funny. And yet we have these numbers, right? And so either there's people who are not in the Telegram who just are following us and just paying attention and listening to what we're saying and watching the social media post, or there's some people who really believe, or maybe a little both. It's hard to say, but I know even the founder and the board member, we are also users of our own product. I mean, we put our own bags to the table as well. We were excited to put our own bags in because we knew what we built. And all our tests, we did our test run with the validation group and everything, all proved everything worked just fine in the math and the projection of the system. And these system miners will get out and leave the system in a 1x. So maybe not tomorrow, maybe probably the next day, we will hit a 1x based upon the current rate of X factor increase. So day one, miners are going to, those 1XR miners, they're gone. They're going to disappear from the system. And so you'll see a change a little bit in some of the X factor for everybody else, because they were, they had the biggest deposit rate. Obviously, they had that come to that 32 billion day one. So part of that went into these 1X system miners. So they're going to be, leaving, and every day, and they compound every day. So on day two, they compounded, right? And then they made new miners, and those day two miners get a 1X.
So one of the things that I looked at was the number, the TVL, the total number that was put in yesterday before I went to bed. And I can't remember the number, but when I woke up the next morning, it had almost doubled. So overnight, there was a massive amount of deposits that came in, maybe between 5 and 10 billion pulse that happened overnight, which surprised me. And I was wondering if that had anything to do with the system miners, because my point is that if that's the case right now, that the system miners are already putting in that kind of economic energy on day 6, then like for me, I could be wrong, but I'm just looking at that going like, we'll buckle up, because this is going to be a fun ride.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it. Yeah, that's exactly what will happen.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, those types of amounts are actually excelling past of what our projections were by almost 100%. Where we are today by day 6, actually yesterday by day 5, our projection said we should have been at like day 14 or day 15. So we're actually way ahead of schedule as far as how our system is currently working. So if this keeps it up, yeah, you're right. This will become a gargantuan monster. Yes.
So you can see right here on this is the day groups. Day one deposits are at a 0.86, or 86% of their initial deposits already been returned to them. Day 2, 78%, 0.88899. Day 3 is 0.4, and day 4 depositors are at 0.17 or 17%. Yep. So now this won't populate till the day's over, because this is the current day. But this is where we are already in just a few days of yield generation. That's why the APYs are like in 4 digits right now. 4, 5, 6, 7,000% APY if you analyze these rate of returns.
Yeah.
And so when I post the daily stats on Twitter, this is a reality. This is what's happening. We're not inflating anything. This is just basic math of what's happening. It's a simple calculation. But let me show this. I'm gonna
what do we
take
currently
the screen down.
We're at like what? Did we say 9 billion right now?
Mm-hmm. Currently.
Of organic. That's all users. That's all organic right now, and we've got like 12 more hours to go on the for everybody. And you'll see that again, Chris, that the system will also do that same thing it did last night. And when you get up, it'll be like 20 billion pulse or something like that for the deposits again, even on day 6.
Yeah. And that's the point right there, is that, as typically as systems like this go, there's a drop off, there's attrition, there's natural attrition. But you can see that what we're talking about is this economic energy that's happening within the system miners is never going to drop off. It's only going to increase. If I don't want to speak out of turn, but that's how I understand it in my head, which is the secret sauce to a certain degree.
Yeah,
exactly. Let me show you this. All right, so that's as big as I can make it. So this purple represents the system miners, right? our projection was they would be about half the deposits at day 14, is what Execution just said. But in reality, we're up. That purple line should be about right here. It shot up. That's how. If I could adjust this, it would be a shoot, almost a straight up line, just about to here in its impact. So the proportional impact the system miners have already are over 50 or at or over 50% of organic user deposits and compounds, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So this is, and we haven't even started external yield generation as far as deposits yet. They haven't even started yet because they have to kind of build up first. And the integration amplifier has yet because they haven't hit the first 2x yet. They're still not at the 1x yet. So they're still, now they're compounding, but they're not, the initial first miners aren't got to their yield part yet. So we're still waiting on that because we're not even in the 1x. So they are going to, pick up steam pretty quick as well. So you're going to see this is really was a conservative chart based upon, guesses of what we will deposit. And this is based on real math, but it was still based on guesses of what deposit amounts would be. Now, if we were to have a consistent daily max cap every day, these numbers would probably just go up even higher and faster. But because it's organic, and there are people who are not compounding, there's no doubt about it. We know the fact there's wallets are not compounding, and they want to get out 2x, and they're going to leave, and that's okay. And when they do, the rest of the people are going to have more of the yield from the system and the compounds and everything. And they'll just basically, their ROIs will increase in time compared to everybody else, proportionally. So, but then you're going to see people have to make that decision. What do? I got my 2x. What do I do now? Do I go back in?
You go back in?
Or do I tell my buddies and we all go in together, right? Because, hey, I got 2x, man. Come check this out. This is a good idea.
Yeah.
It took me, say, 2 weeks to do it. Okay, great. Let's try it again. See how long it takes, right? And then as people go, they'll learn more. They'll see the dividends happening. And then the miners, the M1XR miners will get bigger and bigger as time goes on. And their impact is bigger. The SRE will kick in, start making these deposits of capital injections in the system. And then you will see then the engine really start to take off then. Because what will happen as you see this chart, regardless of the number of days it is, as this red line will get smaller and smaller, which is organic user impact on the system, all these other lines will overtake that to where this red line will be really, really thin as time goes on. And eventually this orange line is going to be as big, if not as bigger than the 1XRs, because the SRE only gets bigger massively. And its contribution to yield will only go up. And if in a couple of weeks, when a new shiny object comes out on the market by us, it's really going to impact this and increase this orange line and its contribution to the system. So there's exciting times coming up, and given the state of pulse chain and the lack of a yield generation that exists, Tru2X has shown itself to be the place right now to earn yield in this down market.
Yeah, I think that people will develop different strategies. I think there will be a subset that they'll just want to get their Tru2X right away as soon as possible. And then for them, that's like a proof of concept. Then they might take their, they might take the house money, take their principal, put it back where they got it from. Then they'll put the house money perhaps back into the system, maybe split that up into 2 wallets, go for another 2 Tru2X on 1 wallet, and then make the other one compound. Eventually you get to a point where you trust the system, it works. You're playing with house money. Let's just keep compounding this, make one a $300 vacation wallet and put it on auto compound. And by the, who knows, 3 or 4 months from now, you might have a vacation. You might have a vacation thanks to Tru2X or whatever. There'll be lots of different ways people want to do this. But it's, in a time where it's been pretty dark and pretty hard for a lot of people. I think that this is a breath of fresh air. I think, as always, everybody should proceed with caution, do your own research. These guys have been testing. I know this because I've been watching it from the sidelines. but they've had a subgroup of users that are not part of their team that have been testing this for weeks. They've been putting this together for, I understand, 1.5 to 2 years. So, you know, and then their VC is open like probably at least 12 hours a day, every single day. There's people in there if you have questions in their Telegram. So it's awesome. It's checking all the boxes right now, you know?
Yep. And our SRE, we were going to wait a couple more days before we actually started the SRE process, just for different reasons. But because we had such a great turnout on day one and everything, and in the preceding days as well, over around 18 to 20 billion per day, which is significant, way more than our initial estimates were going to be, that we decided to go ahead and start the SRE capital injections. And we had two so far. We have two the projects we are using for outside yield generation. One was Vouch, that we've made deposits and got VPulse out, and we've utilized it. And the second is EMIT. And so I'm gonna share this screen here. And
Yes,
Kairos was supposed to join us, but he's not available, I guess.
Okay, that's too bad. I really like the EMIT token. I like what he's been doing with this. Wow, look at that.
Yep. So here's the chart for EMIT. And this is, what day is this? This is December 25th. I think about right here. Right here was end of December 25th, going in early AM hours is when the SRE kicked in.
Make that bigger. Make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
You'll see how, how's that? A little bit. My screen. I got a glare on my other screen, so I can't even see the other screen. I'm going to use this screen. But okay, anyway, you see this big candle here. Let's see if I can let me check the go to hourly. Let's see. Makes it a little bit better. Yeah. So you can see right here, this is the SRE engagement. It begins right here. And we started buying EMIT and staking in single side staking pool, as well as providing liquidity. And we did it here. We did it here, here, and here, and we did it today. And then it was sold down a little bit by different bots and stuff like that, and other people who want to take profit, which is fine because that's what we want. We want volume. And if you understand how EMIT works as a protocol, the single side staking feature is a reflexive part of the system that its APY is actually a function of the volume with buys and sells. So regardless of the price of the token, if there's a lot of volume and activity, the APY of the single side staking pool, because EMIT is a tax token, those taxes feed the yield that is in DAI to the holders and stakers of the EMIT token in the single side staking. And after 3 days, Tru2X is the largest shareholder of EMIT stakers. I mean, period. I mean, and Kairos knows this. We've all talked about it. So it's nothing. It's just a fact of what we've done. And he knew this going in, and we warned him on a live stream that we were going to impact this thing significantly, and we did. And only 3 days, we're now the biggest holder of EMIT and staker. And I'm seeing that in the yield return for the single side staking. And because we are driving the volume ourselves with our impact and our interaction with the protocol, we're generating the yield that we need to come back to Tru2X. It's at over 100% APY right now.
And that's through the single-sided staking, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, this does not include, since we're all providing liquidity, we are also earning EMIT tokens as yield, right, from being LP providers. Mm-hmm. Those EMIT tokens will be sold as well when we're ready. And when we're ready to do that, then we'll sell those tokens, which will generate volume, and then we'll sell the DAI and generate that and take that yield and stick it right back in Tru2X. And that process will happen over and over again. And how much we do where is a strategic thing for us, but that's the game in a nutshell. It's not very complicated. We've been very open about it. We've been transparent how we're going to interact.
Yeah.
And the VPulse we have is we're using it as a pair with EMIT to provide liquidity. And in about 30, 45 days, we'll go in and take that VPulse and swap it back out and get the yield from being the depositor in the VPulse contract. Yeah. And then take that yield and then go back in again and then take that yield and bring it right back to Tru2X to basically boost the yield we're getting through the EMIT side as well. So It's a
Yeah.
double dip, so to speak.
So essentially, the way that I look at this is probably the most intelligent flywheels that exist right now that help support tokens with passive income yield generation. That's just going to be recycled through and through. And EMIT, I like this token. I like the ecosystem a lot because not only just like for you guys, and you say that it starts right there where that God candle started. I think I would argue it started before there because I think people were, you know,
I'm not saying people had advanced knowledge, but we weren't quiet about it.
Yeah, so I think, you know, but anyway, regardless, I think that there's a huge impact on this token. What's great about EMIT is that they partner with many different tokens as well. It's deflationary in itself. I think that that the price is going to continue to rise, in my opinion. But you can earn EMIT, and then you can take that EMIT, single side stake it as just as any user, not just you guys, and you can get EDI. And EDI, you know, that's awesome because I'm not crushing the host token if I'm doing this myself, and I can recycle that back in. So I think EMIT is one not to be slept on as well too. It's cool that you guys are doing this. I can see why you're using this token to help with yield generation. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome that you're transparent too. You know, you're providing liquidity with it. That's gonna give you EMIT, and you're gonna sell that at some point in time too. All those sells trigger taxes. Taxes fuel the system. The cycle just continues on and on. So it's
and you kind of hit on a point when you said that EMIT supports a lot of other communities, and immediately my brain went to, oh yeah, he's right, in the way that there's a lot of pairings to the EMIT token.
Yep.
Now I'm wondering if some of those folks that are in those other communities are starting to maybe correlate their pair to EMIT a little bit more because they see the price going up. That's going to make the price of their token go up too.
The ones that are clued into this, if they're smart, that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
That's your strongest potential up and coming liquidity pool is with EMIT. So, you know, and then also just be careful because, you know, like the guys have said, this is a nice trend right here and they're buying, but they're also going to sell at some point in time too. And so it is what it is, but that generates volume, and volume does great things for everyone. So,
but we will be a net buyer of EMIT, net. So that's important to understand. We're not ever going to just only dump it all or like that. That's not the point. All right. So the SRE has one purpose, and all the funds in SRE are a tool for yield. That's it. The actual valuation of the LP pairs that we exist in or sit in are less important than the yield they generate. That's a different mindset than most anybody else has in LPM. They worry about impermanent loss, and they're, oh no, you know, I'm losing one side or the other. I'm getting, you know, heavy on one side or the other. For us, it's not as important because we look at these things as a tool for yield generation. Therefore, if we're in an EMIT DI pair or the EMIT PulseX pair or whatever the pair is, for us, it's like, how can that pair pay us yield, right? In EMIT tokens in this case. And we have to be, I am spreading the liquidity around to make sure we're not, like, you know, basically diluting the pool down to nothing with APR. So we are going to spread the love around in LP. But in doing so, though, we're also going to basically foster a liquidity web as we move through it. So all the activity right now, if you look at the volume right now in EMIT, it's at 13K right now, I guess, in the last 24 hours. We're sitting at like 11. Yeah, just in the last couple, day. And this was sitting at like 1,100, 1,200 a week and a half ago. Right?
But the significant thing is, I think the significant thing is that's just one pair. EMIT has many pairs. So when we go and change the ratio, like you see on that chart, the bots that he has in there goes through every single pair and generates even more volume. So if you were to go through and calculate how much actual volume there was that was paying that 5%, that tax that goes to the single-sided staking, then you get a little bit, it's a little bit more exciting to understand how the system actually works with EMIT, and that, you know, whether they're buys or sells, the system will, if like sells coming in, generates a lot of buys, smaller buys, but still they all pay their 5%. Buys creates a little bit of sells, but it's rebalancing everything, bringing volume to every single pair. And because of that, every single pair's volume pays that tax when it does that, and it really cranks up the APY on the single-sided staking. And so you probably notice in the last couple of days that the APYs have cranked up quite a bit, actually, on all of the pairs. I think even VPulse went from like 5% to doubled. It's almost 11 now. Mm-hmm. You know, the Wrap Pulse EMIT pair was like the high 80s, and now it's like 130. The single-sided staking was down in the 80s as well. It's up to 120. So these trends are gonna continue to keep happening.
Yep.
So
we told people we don't care if you front run us. That's our thing. It makes no difference to us. We're after volume, not necessarily token acquisition. That's not really though it's a part of it. It's not the volume is more important because we're going to get the tokens no matter what, whether we buy them or we get them from the yield. It doesn't matter to us. Because the system, the way it works, we want activity, we want volatility, we want people to dump these tokens. We pump the price, take your profit, go ahead, front run us, please do, because you're just going to give us more yield on our single side staking, and you'll make a profit. Hey, we both win, right? I'm not crying at all.
Yeah, the SRE is very non-emotional. It doesn't care what the price is. When the SRE comes in and does buys, it doesn't care if it's 10 cents. It doesn't care if it's $4. Still going to come in and do its thing. Whether you guys, take advantage of those things, we're literally telling you to do such a thing. It's okay.
Right. And we want EMIT. EMIT's going to succeed regardless because of our activity. And we're going to succeed because we're going to use EMIT's the structure that Carrier's built with EMIT and the tool to get the yield, because there's reflexivity in the system. It's everybody's winning here. In this thing, and Tru2X then is going to take all that pulse, give it back to all those who make deposits, and that's even more fresh capital coming in, and then that's going to further bolster the X factor generation to where eventually it's going to be very, very impactful for all those who are participating. And then once the first 2X happens and people leave the system, that's probably where we're going to do these capital injections. And then there will probably be a little remorse or regret. Those who say, "Man, I wish I'd have stayed in and compounded because I'd be even up even more." But that's okay. It's a learning process, and it's risk reward, and what do you want to do with your money, right?
Yeah, I would imagine too that the strategy behind this too would be to evolve, with the conditions. So maybe there becomes EMIT 2.0. EMIT stays where, as part of the legacy, but maybe there's another yield generation opportunity with another protocol or something else that checks all your boxes as well too down the road. I think, I don't know. I would just assume that it's going to be intelligent and it's going to be constantly looking for opportunities. Correct?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of Execution's main objective is to search the highways and byways for high yield opportunities for DeFi, right? But there's a trick to it, and there's a lot of math involved. Though there's systems out there that look good on the surface, but when you start pulling back the curtain, it's like, well, I don't want to be exit liquidity, and that's the danger when you have capital injections. Being exit liquidity for everybody else. You don't want that. So you want to make sure the system it can withstand the type of capital injection, and B, provide a decent return on the money you're putting investment on, ROI on the money you're putting in, right? Because this is the key. You have to have outside capital coming in for Tru2X to be sustainable ultimately. It'll work fine in the short term with what we're doing with the 1XR miners and the partners, but without the outside yield and that fresh capital, it's just basically recycling of the same tokens. You have to have this fresh capital coming in. And this is the key to make it, to close the loop and make all this work indefinitely and guaranteeing the 2X to anybody who participates. Yeah. So for us, we are very, very picky, right? And we have our own solution for this. And don't get me wrong, we have the solution that's going to solve this problem for us here in a couple of weeks. So I'm not worried about our SRE yield generation that's coming. That solution's already been solved. We solved it months ago. It's just a matter of when we're going to deploy it. And so when we're ready, we'll let everybody know. And it's going to be such a thing that when we do deploy, we don't even have to have anybody participate. Literally, we do it just by ourselves. We do not literally need anybody to participate, but we will. We'll invite people because we want people to have fun and make money and support us, and we'll support them, and then support Tru2X and everything else we're building. So, and because Tru2X does what it does, we literally could just kick everybody out tomorrow. Let's say we could, and then let it run into autonomously. We'll do it by itself right now with the capital that's in it, because the system will do what it does, which is unheard of in crypto.
Yeah. It's a confidence builder, right? Mm-hmm. Like other people will see it, like what you were saying, Chris, earlier about, when people start generating their 2Xs, it's going to be hard for people not to say something, right? And then that's when I think we'll see another jump of TVL on the system itself, because of, some people play it safe. Like I know plenty of whales that don't even touch a system for 6 months, just to see how it goes before they decide to dive in and make a splash. Yeah. So, I mean, if we've got that proof, right?
Yeah.
Then it'd be a lot easier for people to come in and make a splash.
Yeah, I'm happy. I always, when I look at things like this, it's like I'm gonna, I will accept responsibility if my financial decisions don't do well. It's on me. I'll be a sacrificial lamb. I love the innovation side of this. The best part is as you're talking about this next layer that's coming up that we'll learn about, I guess. You guys have had the benefit of sitting in this for, over a year and a half, 2 years, and probably being able to just go, what else would be amazing is if we could do this. To have that, to be able to ideate and to actually make, the best of those ideas come to fruition. So I'm here for that. I do have one question for you, because I find myself in this situation a little bit right now as I'm trying to articulate this to somebody in a short period of time. So like a quick elevator pitch. It's, you guys you've been too busy heads down, launching this, that, marketing hasn't really kicked in quite yet, which is why it's even more amazing that you have so much adoption already and TVL. But, is there a elevator pitch yet where I can just be like, hey, look, if you want an expedited way that's unique to Pulse Chain in doubling your pulse at a very basic level, there's this protocol called Tru2X. There's so much more to it. That's the thing with the compounding and with that. I guess it's hard to have a quick elevator pitch, but I'm curious to know if you guys have thought of anything yet, or if it's come up.
Well, I mean, like in the simplicity of it, you don't have to get into all the technical stuff of it. I mean, you can come in, make a deposit, deploy, wait till you hit your 2X and exit. Just a couple of steps. That's it. You don't have to get into the whole compound and the rest of that. But as it may take 20 days to get to your 2X, that leaves you quite a bit of time to come in and ask questions and say, hey, before I click this thing, what's it going to do? How does it work? And then you might take the opportunity to figure out the more in-depth ways to earn pulse faster by getting your dividends and putting it to work right away. That would be the compound side, right? Compounding is what they call it, the eighth wonder of the world. A lot of geniuses, for very good reasons, would echo that compounding is an incredible thing to do. But then again, that's the geniuses that are echoing those things. It's not technically a very easy thing to understand. So elevator pitch on that is a little longer. So if you just, stick to the basics of deposit, deploy, wait, exit. Simple.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one wallet that, after day one, returned over 50 million pulse. And so I immediately compounded that. And then I just thought to myself, okay, I have another wallet that I'm just going to get the 2X on. So this is all going to be house money anyway. But that 50 million pulse now becomes a compounding machine for me. that's just going to build in the system. I mean, it's pretty ingenious.
Exactly.
Right.
So here's a good example. This is a referral miner from this wallet. 185 million pulls from referrals. Now, it's already compounded because I'm not stupid, but I saw that like, do I want to sit on this and let it double, or do I want to put it to work, right? Because that'll be now doubled in X number of days, right? And that's the thing. You make these decisions, and this is another deposit I made in this wallet. So both of these I'm looking at as, hey, I'm putting the work because I want to double this. I'm not satisfied with just these numbers. I want to double them and then put to work, right? To where, because of the power of compounding, I'll show y'all this particular wallet that on, let's see, this is day one. This day here, well, hold on. This pink card is a result of all the compounding of all the different cards in this particular wallet. And you see how big it is. And it started with 50,000 pulls, by the way.
Healthy bag.
Yeah.
And this is all compounds. This is my referral wallet. Everything refers to it from all my stuff. So this is, I'm just showing y'all, this is the power of compounding.
Wow.
So I took all the compounds from all the things from the entire system that I own that, this is where I'm at. So it's being put to work. So tomorrow, this will be come out as a miner and be deployed. So if you go back and think about what's happened in history, there was a small little bitty deposit, only 43,000. And all of a sudden, 242 million. Oh my gosh. Then these, boom, boom, boom. These are all just compounds after compounds. And then tomorrow will be the bit that big one I just showed you.
You say
happening.
You say the best for last here. This is the cheese at the end of the rat hole right here.
That's it. So this is the power of compound interest, right? And how the compound system works in referrals with Tru2X. So I have a bunch of wallets doing different things, and I'm all using one referral wallet, this one, to receive all this free pulse I'm getting from referring to myself, the 10% side. But the wallets I refer to, they all get 5%. So half of this is in the other wallets, and they're doing the same thing. So this is the power of the system that allows you to get this type of return. And this return here has nothing to do with this number. This 0.86, that's just the X factor. That's not what I'm earning. I'm way beyond a 2X already on this day if I liquidated everything I had right now. I mean, I'm probably at 2.4X in net of all the money I put in the thing on day 6. So there's the math behind it. And it's this. This is my personal wallet. I mean, I'm kind of exposing myself, but it is what it is. But y'all understand that this is what's happening in the system. Now, I'm not the only one doing this. I know there's several people, who are watching this who go, "Yep, I'm doing the exact same thing." We told y'all to do this. We told y'all this is how you need to do this thing, because this is what you'll get out of it if you just follow our instructions. Because this is the most efficient way to earn the most pulse in the system, and it's not a cheat. It's just how we built it. And I'm compounding 100% of it because I know that's where the yield's at. And anytime if I say I'm ready to liquidate, even today, I will still be up. So that's how powerful Tru2X is. And so when people need to think about that, I mean, there's billions of pulse, over 120 billions of pulse is in the system. And I think we're probably at over almost 100 billion going to be distributed today by the end of the day, turnover for dividends. It's pretty good.
Wow. I can't top that. That's pretty juicy. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about this for 2 years. We made a lot of bold statements in different streams, and people are like, well, we'll see it happen. Well, it's happening as we speak. And so the question you get to ask yourself is, where do you want to sit? Do you want to wait longer and watch it happen, wait till the first 2X? Go right ahead. Please do. I mean, it's not going to bother us any, but when you're ready, we're here to help you earn yield, because you're not getting anywhere else. If you're sitting with Pulse in your wallet, or maybe you've got LP pools, or whatever, you're playing the LP game, you're maybe getting, just a 2, 3, 4, 10% a day if you're lucky. APY. Come over here, you get about a couple, 3 or 4,000% APY, and double your pulse in a couple weeks, right? I mean, you can't beat that anywhere else. Time for time, day for day, pulse for pulse, we offer the best yield generation on pulsing as we speak, without any reservation.
And we also do like highlight our partners as well too, like in the background, like type of thing. We may make deposits using certain referral IDs that our partners have. We may not tell our partners that we're going to do such a thing, but you'll notice it when we start buying. It's intentful, especially those partners who are obviously using the referrals, and we can see it in the cards that if there was a leaderboard as to who is winning, I can tell you right now that it's Gelato. You're doing a good job, and that has nothing to do with us. That's a community that is well put together, right? It's obvious that you have a very good, tight-knit community that.
Well, yeah, and for me, before I wanted to even talk about it with my community, I wanted to get deep into this to really understand and play with it a little bit. And just because that's how I am as a person. I just want to be protective of people. And, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really grateful to you guys and to the team. It's awesome. I think what would be good, probably, like I just had a text, what do I have to do just now? What do I have to do? So maybe if you guys just want to say, look, what's the quickest way to get involved? Where should people go to? Obviously your Telegram, you got your website, and I'm sure you'll put that in the details below as well too, right?
Yeah. You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah. I'll put that in. Let me put that in the chat real quick. this is a impromptu stream. I've been kind of busy, but I'll take care of that in the chat. And then look, the Telegram, it's on our website. We post all the time in X, Tru2X.io. You can find us there. But come on the Telegram. We're there all the time answering questions, doing tech support, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, come on in, walk through the process. We have a video series we did of steps, all the steps, in the lobby, making deposits, deploying miners, managing miners, all the things. They're all like 2 and 3 minute long videos, short, sweet, to the point. And so just come on in. We'll help you out, get you started, answer any questions. And then if you want to support the communities, we'll show you how to do that, how to use the UI, how to navigate it, all the things.
Yep. And the Telegram, if you go in your HTTPS URL at the top and type in t.me/Tru_P2X, that's t.me/Tru_P2X, that'll get you into our public chat, where we are always there to be as helpful as we possibly can to guide you through the steps in a very, hopefully, easy way. And I believe now we have the link to the DApp hooked up at Tru2X.io. So you can just go to Tru2X.io and then just hit to the DApp, and it'll bring you right to the page. You can make your first deposit right there. And believe me, we know that this is new tech. This is not something, if you think that you've seen something like this before, you might run yourself into situations where you realize, oh, this thing is nothing like I've ever seen before. I thought I knew what I was doing. Where do I go to get some help? Come into the Telegram. Like I said, we're there at all times. There's no such thing as a dumb question, because like I said, more than likely you won't know what is exactly going on. And that's perfectly okay. We'll get you straight as soon as we possibly can. And like I said, it's as easy as just deposit the first day, wait 24 hours, deploy, and then just wait to hit your 2X and then exit if you want. If you want to get further into the weeds, coming into the Telegram chat, like we have videos, we've got a lot of explainers and education, and we are definitely educators at this point, for sure, on lots of things, browsers,
and not just us either. Our team and our admins and all the people in the chat especially those who were in the validating phase in our test group. Those guys have been through the paces. They know it. They've been educated, and they've seen the reality. And when you do good things and do the right thing, and when you screw up, AJ. Anyway, we're AJ. Love you, man. But I'm gonna answer the chat. There's a question in chat. Cotton Trust Win asks, how about how to auto compound to another wallet? All right, you cannot do that directly. The only way to go to another wallet is you can deposit to a wallet, that is to a different wallet. You can redeem a miner to a different wallet, and you can exit to a different wallet, or you can manually compound to a different wallet. But you cannot auto compound to a different wallet. That function does not exist. Maybe in the future, but right now we do not have that function available. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, the exit to another wallet is pretty interesting. Like you got a brand new wallet that you just created, and then boom, all of a sudden it's got Pulse in it. Contract, you're like, where'd that come from? I have no idea.
I don't know.
So
it's this like big pool of Pulse there, just squirts out Pulse and sticks in a wallet. What happened to it? Whose Pulse is it? I don't know. You don't know. It wasn't intentional, but there's a little level of anonymity that we created unintentionally, just for convenience sake. Really, I have Pulse over here. I want to move it over here and do something else and create maybe a new miner over here. Yeah. Right? We give you that options. We want to make this as user friendly as possible, so that you, the user, have complete control of your funds. You can come in. You make a deposit.
It wasn't intentional. That thing. It just happened to be like a cool thing that we were like, hey, wait a minute, you could do this. Like,
but
maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't like highlight that. I don't know, because that's not like really the point of the system, is to like obfuscate your stuff like that, right? But you can. And I didn't mean to interrupt, but I mean, yeah, it was totally unintentional, but it's kind of a cool thing. It's a P2 tornado cash, I guess.
Yeah, right. But but for the average user, you come in, the steps are basically this. You come in, make a deposit, right? And then in that deposit, after you make it, you get a little pink card and an ID associated with that wallet permanently. That wallet is now ID number, whatever, forever. The next day, in 24 hours, that deposit is because eligible to then launch a miner from, or deploy a miner. In doing so, we give you the option to deploy, and then you can split that deposit up into up to 20 different parts, or 20 separate miners per card. You don't have to; it's just an option, but it gives you flexibility. And those miners basically allow you to exit at different times with a portion of your dividends if you don't compound. That's a key point. If you don't compound, so you put in 100 million Pulse, it's going to 200 million, and you're at a 1.3x. So you got 1,300 or whatever it is, 130 million Pulse now. Let's say you want to take 20 million out for something. You can. You can just exit out a portion of that, and the rest keeps 2xing. So you don't nuke your whole bag. And why would you do that? Maybe you need a new tire for your car. Maybe Pulse jumps up in price. You want to take profit. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. It's flexibility for you, the user, in the system. So, but that's one tool we've added that allows you to exit a portion of your deposit without being locked in for the entire thing. But after you deploy, though, on that next day, and your miner, then it goes into what's called in queue. It's ready to start earning dividends, and then the following day, it turns from a little on the miner page turns purple. In fact, I'll show you right now. Share screen here.
I still don't have the colors of the cards like down. I almost need to like create a legend. Like, what is gray? What is blue? And what is
understandable? So this right here, this is in queue. That means this day, I deployed this particular miner of 212 million Pulse, right? It's in queue, means it's not earning dividends. It's ready to. So it's on deck, right? Getting ready. So tomorrow it'll start earning dividends, and it will turn blue like this color. It says active. And then it'll start earning dividends, and there'll be dividends associated, earned, like this 22.2 million of 223 million deposit, or just 52 million of the 297 million deposit, right? I've earned these dividends already in one day of active access and mining from these miners. So that's a lot of money. I'm gonna shut it down. Anyway, it's a pretty good bit. But anyway, the point is there's a lot of opportunity here, and then when they get to this X factor, this active button will turn to the 2X. So it'd be a little green 2X here when it's done. Then, if you have compounded, you have a little bit left over because your compounds have all been turned into deposits. And there'll be a little dust left. You just go, you'd click this, hit collect a compound, you'd hit exit, and if there's any, and then there's no funds here because I've compounded, obviously, but there'd be a little bit left. You click this green button and hit exit, or compound what's left if you wanted to, and that's it. And that miner's done. It's out of the system, and you can continue on with your rest of your miners. So that's pretty much it. It's a 4-step process: deposit, deploy, earn dividends, and then exit. And you can compound if you want. And that's the basic principle of Tru2X. And everything else is basically more features and options to allow you to customize your experience in a untold number of ways that we haven't even exhausted yet ourselves, because we developed it and people come up with new stuff all the time. Even Chris came up with some different ideas of how to really strategize that we never thought of. So,
yeah, I always like to play. How do you break the company? You know, in anything, like in my real life job, like we will go on a retreat in the summer, and our whole job as the senior leadership team is to try and break the company. And so I look at everything like that, like where's the vulnerabilities? How can this go wrong? It's just extremely well thought out. And like I said, do your own research. We're on the first cycle. It's going to be fun when people start getting their first 2X. But it's I think that people should not fade this. And what a great way to double your pulse, and then play with the playground that exists inside the ecosystem. If you want to play with compounding, which I would highly recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another way people can use Tru2X, think about this. Let's say you're in various types of DeFi products. You're doing whatever. Let's say you go to, like Fast Abdul is going to launch Vault here shortly, right? It's Vault 369, a liquidity for it. You go in there, let's say you get your loan. You got a bunch of Vault tokens. You got in early. Go get your loan, right? You take that loan, you get some pulse, you come to Tru2X and you come double it. You double it, you go back, you pay your loan off, right? Or borrow more money and come back and do it again. There's an option there, right?
It's risky.
It's risky, but it's an option for people who understand how these games work, right? There's a whole lot of, I have a whole video on this, but anyway, there's an option. Or let's say you're staked or you're an EMIT. You're single-sided staking. You get all this DAI coming in because of what we're doing. What are you going to do with the DAI? I don't know. Why don't you buy you some pulse and come double it? There's an option, right?
I mean, it's better than doing that same thing and then waiting and being like, well, just wait for price to appreciate and then I'll just pay it back. And it's like, well, how many of those stable token things that didn't work that way? At least now you can at least go to a thing that's going to, what is the APY? It's like 3,000% right now. If you're paying like what, 27% on the loan, mm-hmm. If you did it in the real world, right? Cash advance or something like that. Pretty sure you're going to be killing it against that thing. Like you're not worried about 27% back.
Yeah. Right. Well, so one of our participants said, I'm going to take a cash advance against my credit card and I put it in on day one. And he's about to break even, right, in a day or two. So in about 14 days, he'll be able to pay that entire credit card balance back and have free money.
Yeah.
Not bad. He'll owe what, 20, 30, 40 bucks or something in interest, and that'd be it. And he'll be up a ton. So that was pretty smart play on his part because he did really well. But there's risk reward to everything and how much you're willing to risk. Risk as much as you're willing to lose, right? All DeFi. But at the end of the day, so far we've proven ourselves to be, a very good quality DeFi product, generating a lot of yield to users. And everything we're doing is in a way that is trying not to hurt anybody. This whole system is not PvP. In fact, it's the opposite. As Fast Abdul quoted, we have unponzied the Ponzi. Therefore, we have allowed us to, as users and participants, to work together as a group in mass to generate these yields through the mechanisms that we built with Tru2X to allow all of us to participate and see these gains, that we can see and appreciate them and earn our dividends over time without any harm or competition to any other project, but with the opposite effect of actually aiding and assisting projects in revenue cash flow through the integration of amplifier. This is revolutionary. We know it's new tech. It's never been done before. And we are the first pioneers in this type of system. And we are very, very pleased what we're seeing so far with the community participation, as well as, you as Chris, as a founder of a protocol, who's like saw the benefit in the good idea that was, hey, I get somebody to buy my token perpetually. Why not? It didn't cost me, didn't hurt my system, didn't hurt my people who participate in my system. We all benefit. And that was a very difficult problem to solve for us as a team. To how do you create something that has no negative externalities to the people who participate in some sort of fashion? That's a very, very difficult thing to solve, but we did it, and we're proud of it. And we hope all you realize and appreciate that, because you're not going to get this just anywhere in crypto. It's a fact.
Unless we decide to, copy our own code and develop it and make another, a PulseX version, or
do that, please. That'd be great.
We might make another copy. Who knows? In fact, we probably will. In fact, we are going to do it. This is just phase one. Tru2X is just getting started. And TrueDeFi is building an ecosystem with Tru2X as the foundational tool. This technology will be the foundational tool of everything we're building. It will build other things and have other tokens we double over time that will integrate. And the things we build in between these tools will just augment what we built. And we'll build other types of systems that will continue to facilitate and promote and be a interdependent yet independent support of the entire ecosystem as we move forward. We have a kind of a rough internal roadmap, and everything we're going to do is going to benefit everything else in some way. There will never be any one project that is going to be subservient to the others, or anything like that. They will all have an integral part that can help and push each other. So no matter where you enter into the TrueDeFi ecosystem, whatever type of thing you appreciate or would like, you will A, benefit everything, and B, take good benefit and yield from it, however you wish to participate. That's our vision. That's what we're going to build, and that's what we're going to bring to market eventually. And we appreciate all you all who've decided to take the plunge with us in the beginning. It's been it's very heartwarming for us. We would never have in a million years thought we had this kind of success, especially during Christmas time. I mean, Christmas Day, we were out here in chit-chatting the entire day, problem solving, and we still had, 18, 19, 20 billion pulse deposits on Christmas Day. I mean, where do you see that? I mean, that's amazing, the trust and level of dedication that this community has for a project like us, from just a handful of guys who basically who did self-fund this entire thing, because this is no sacrifice at all, zero. So we brought this to market with our own pocket, with our own energy and our own time, because we believe it was the right thing to do, and we want you, the people, and you, the users, to benefit and appreciate that there is a better way in crypto to earn yield in DeFi, and you don't have to beat your neighbor up to do so, or to make them left holding the bag when you dump on their heads. We don't have to do that anymore. We've solved that problem.
Yeah. This is why I love Pulse Chain. I mean, this is what it's all about. So, I mean, kudos to you guys, especially bootstrapping all of this, and along with the money put up to put all this together. It's just the time and the energy, and it's great. Like I'm really enjoying the process so far, and I appreciate being on here. Again, I'm not part of the team. I just wanted to speak as a user that's fumbling his way, learning about all this. Things like Bitcoin, to buy Bitcoin, and to learn Excel, for example. They were all hard at the very beginning. It's a new system. It's totally different. It's unique. Have some patience when you go here. Go to the Telegram. They're amazing. They'll answer everything. But it's, you know, the results don't lie. There's over 110 or 20 billion pulse that have been put into this, and it's paying out every single day. It's impressive. So congrats, guys.
Appreciate it. All right, Executioner, any last words from you before I shut this thing down? Or any questions from the chat? Anybody else any questions in the chat?
I'd say, you know, understandably, people who are you know, on the sidelines, waiting for maybe a buddy of yours or whatever that might be in the system to prove it out, kind of like what I've heard a few people say these things. That's completely understandable. But the sooner the better. The sooner you're earning dividends is actually better for you. And then the last thing I'd say is, if you want to support a community, Canadian Grateful has an ID right down there right now, 568. If you want to support Gelato, by all means, please do. He's got a really cool system himself with webbing, and it generates hex. And if you don't know about that, then you're probably not in Pulse Chain.
Thank you. Yes, there's great founders. There's Hero Token. Take a look. There's a menu there that you can add an ID to and associate your account with. And or if you want to self-refer right now and you want to take those yourself, you can do that. And then after the 45 days, you can pick a community that you want to benefit, and they'll have some sort of like a 5% share rate benefit in perpetuity after that. So it's nothing off you. It's no skin off your back. You can support a community after the 45 days as well too. So it's pretty awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys setting this up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad we can do it. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to shut the stream down. So I appreciate you guys coming. Chris, thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate your candor and your questions, man, even in private chat. Yeah. It's been great. It's been helping us think through some things, and there's good feedback on especially the UI issues and stuff that and a few of the quirks we've had as we've launched. So it's been very refreshing. I appreciate that, the fact that you're very level-headed, and you know, and I mean, congratulations also on being the top IA recipient of the yield. You know, that's great. Really congratulate you on that and your community. Y'all have shown a bit of fortitude there, and again, taking the leaderboard. So maybe you can stay on top. We'll see. I mean, I know there's other people, other groups are watching this like, hey, you know, I want my group to be promoted. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And tomorrow's another day, but you know, we still have another like 10, 11 hours of time before, as more pulse comes in from the world, the other side of the world, because we are worldwide. I mean, people realize crypto is worldwide. Our founder, Daniel's lives in the Philippines, and he has a ton of contacts over there in that side of the hemisphere that contact us, DM us all the time, that they have big communities in Germany and Philippines and Africa, Asia and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people who are listening around the world who have capital who want to come to Pulse Chain. And so we, as Tru2X, we are ambassadors for Pulse Chain. We are going out and talking to people, and because we're agnostic. It's not about, you know, we don't have to have, it's not about any one token or no token. It's the chain. Come to Pulse Chain, get your pulse and deposit and get a double. It's that simple. So we're hoping that what we built will actually make Pulse Chain better, and that we will have an impact on the price ultimately of the token. So that's all I have to say. So appreciate y'all coming. I'm glad everybody had a good Christmas. Hope everybody had a good time with their families. I know we were working the whole time, but we had a little family time for a few minutes here and there, and a couple winks of sleep. Not too much, but. So yeah, well, I'll do more streams, and watch my X posts. I'm doing updates on daily stats, where we are on X factors and the yield and APY. So just if you got any questions, come chat. We'll answer them, and that's what we'll be here in a few minutes. So I want to thank everybody for showing up, and just remember, if you want to save, earn, and grow, it's Tru2X.io. Have a nice day and take care.